In this unit, we're going to talk about matter and the change that matter undergoes. We're also going to learn how to classify matter under different headings. So let's talk about matter. What's the matter? Well, matter is defined as anything that has mass and takes up space. That's basically everything around you, including yourself. Mass, specifically, is the amount of matter that an object contains. So then we're looking at weight. Okay, except weight contains the aspect of gravity, but it's similar. It's the amount of matter that an object contains. There's substances that has uniform and definite composition. We have pure substances and impure substances. Pure substances contain only one kind of matter. These would be elements and compounds. So for this example, we have chromium, which is an element on the periodic table, and then we have a compound, NaCl. You may recognize this as sodium chloride, table salt. Those are both pure substances if that's all you have in one spot. We have three states of matter, the first being solid and liquid and gas, and some may even throw in plasma, but we're not going to cover that here. See if we can name an example of each. Solid, you may think of rocks, desks, tables, humans. Liquids, you might think of water, orange juice, milk. In gas, you may think of oxygen, nitrogen, methane. There are several examples of each. We want to talk about the molecular structure of each. Solids, the molecules are very close together, compact, tight, but they are moving. Liquids, they have room to move around each other. Gases, they have so much space between them, they move rapidly. When we talk about physical properties, we're going to talk about physical changes, and then we're also going to talk about chemical changes. A physical property is a quality of a substance that can be observed or measured without changing the actual composition. So for instance, let's give some examples of physical properties. Color, size, hardness, density, shape, odor, melting point, and boiling point. All of these we can measure without actually changing the substance's composition. It's more of a description rather than a change. A physical change is a change in matter without changing the chemical composition of something. So for instance, boiling, cutting, melting, splitting, cracking, condensing, freezing, bending, breaking, and grinding. All of these things you can do to an object without actually changing what the object is made of, and that's the key there. If I boil water, I turn it into a gas, but I'm not actually changing the fact that it's water. It's just in a different phase of matter. If I cut a piece of paper, well, it's still paper. I haven't changed the fact that it is indeed paper. Chemical changes. One or more substances changing into a new substance. So if we go through a chemical change, we're actually altering the chemicals. We're breaking chemical bonds. The atoms are rearranging and we're starting to form new products. A little more goes into a chemical change. We have some signs of a chemical change, bubbling, but I do want to make a note. This is not including boiling. Just because you boil something doesn't mean it's a chemical change. It's a physical change, actually. Change in temperature. And again, not boiling. If something goes through a change in temperature, it may be a chemical reaction. Color change generally indicates a chemical change, and a change in smell. So let's go through some examples of those. Fireworks. You have a change in light. There's heat. Chemical change. Leaves burning. Leaves decomposing. They're dying. Their chemical composition is changing. The colors are changing. You have a color change. A clear liquid is dropped into another clear liquid. Forms a yellow compound. Probably a chemical change. Iron nail. You've seen that it's left outside and it starts to rust. Rusting, or what we call oxidation, is a chemical change. And then burning. Anytime you have something that's burning or combusting, that would be a chemical change.